So we are into which topic? Yesterday we discussed about the livelihood and the struggles of urban workers. Okay. So in the previous lesson number 9, already we came across with certain examples. The Anand is a permanent worker whose salary is high. He is getting all the benefits along with other allowances, and at the same time whatever the benefit, whatever the profit is gaining by the company, even in that also he is getting share. Along with Anand, there are two more laborers are there who are working in the same factory with the less salary, and they are not getting the allowances what Anand is getting here. So when point comes to work in anywhere, two types of workers will be there. Yesterday we discussed. So some factories, whatever the factories or industries established in India or all over the country, they should be registered with the government. They should be registered with the government. If government registered certain factories and industries, it means registration means nothing but the government gave some sort of permission to run the factory and industry in certain area. Got it? So many factories and industries are registered with the government, and few factories and industries are also there which are not registered with the government. So yesterday's in introduction, even we discussed about the laws. In previous lessons, in so many times we discussed about the government is there to frame the laws in the interest of the people. In the interest of the people. At last, why the government is preparing or the government is making laws? Because when the government decided to frame the laws or making any laws, only because they have to look after the welfare of the society and welfare of the people. To look after their good and bad is the responsibility of the government. So in such scenario, the government was ready to frame the laws. So here also, in the factory, the people, those who are working in the factory, two types of workers will be there. One is regular employees and another one is permanent workers or permanent employees. See, the people, those who are working in such industries and factories, few are said to be permanent workers and few are said to be contract basis or contractual workers, because daily if any person is working for 8 hours or 10 hours, depends on that the amount will be given for the duration of the periods, duration of the hours, how much they are working in a factory on daily basis. Permanent workers means nothing but monthly they'll get a salary of lump sum amount between 10,000 to 15,000 or 5,000 to 10,000 in between, which was designed by the management of that factory owner or industry owner. Okay, so these are called as the regular employees and permanent employees, where people are working in the factories. Now let us go with one example here where we read yesterday, that is I said that workers as permanent, the people those who appointed on the basis of permanent workers in any industry or in any factory, let us talk about. So there is one village, there is one city with the name of Kottur. What is the city name here? Kottur, which comes under Rangareddy district, which comes under Rangareddy district, and it is nearly 30 kilometers away from Hyderabad. What is the distance of this city from Hyderabad? 30 kilometers. So, there one factory was established in the year 1976. 1976, and the company name is Fibrotex. What is the company name here? Fibrotex. Actually, this is not the original name, because some confidential matters will be there which they don't want to expose outside in the society or expose to the public. So that's the reason in the textbook the other name was taken by the government. So Fibrotex is the company's name which was established or which was started in the year 1976 in the city of Kottur in Rangareddy district, which is 30 kilometers away from the Hyderabad. Okay, so in this, what is the purpose of establish this industry? What is the purpose of, what is the main cause of introducing or establishing this industry or factory in the year 1976 in Kottur? Let us know. The main aim of this Fibrotex company is to produce fiberglass. What it is? Fiberglass. So even in our homes also, some glass doors will be there. Nowadays it is very common, it has become very common. Fiberglass means nothing but even though that glass will fall down, that will not break. That won't be break. So that's the reason by taking safety measures into consideration, few industries and factories are there where they can manufacture fiberglass in the company of Fibrotex. Okay. So in this Fibrotex company, nearly 500 to 570 workers are appointed, are working. How many workers? 500 workers are working in such factory, that is Fibrotex factory. Now let us know about, are 500 workers are said to be permanent workers or any of them are appointed as regular basis or daily basis? Let us know. Okay. So how many workers are working in Fibrotex? 500 to 517 between workers are working. Okay. Out of 500, let us take 570. Out of 570, 140 workers are appointed as permanent workers. Appointed as permanent workers. And nearly 60 workers are taken as on daily basis. Daily basis. Suppose take for example, to make you to understand what is the meaning of daily basis. Suppose take for example our family members, one day to get rid of, your father knows very well how to drive the car, but in spite of that also, to make a safe journey, not to get tiredness of your father, he wants to hire one driver. He wants to hire one driver. So the driver who is appointed, with whom we are engaging on that particular day, morning 6 o'clock we are starting from Hyderabad. Suppose we are plan to go to Yadagirigutta or somewhere else. Okay. So when we want to hire a person as a driver, that driver's wages will be 8 hours in a day. If he engaged with us for 8 hours, amount will be given between 400 rupees to 600 rupees. 400 rupees to 600 rupees. Once upon a time, these wages are like that. The charges are like that. But at present, maybe 1 or 200 may be increased, I guess. So just randomly I am telling. Okay. So that driver will be charged 400 to 600 in between for giving his service for how many hours? 8 hours. 8 hours. And petrol or diesel charges depends on us. Okay. So this is called as daily basis wages. This is called as daily basis wage because driver is not permanent for us. It's a matter of only one day we hired him. So on the basis of the duration of hours, he will be charged like that. Once if that driver, if we engage particular person who came as a driver for more than 8 hours, for every 1 hour we have to pay 100 rupees extra. We have to pay 100 rupees extra. So this is called as daily basis. Daily wages, this is called as, because they are not permanent. It means nothing but he is replaced with the original person. So our father, your father will drive the car. In place of your driver, what we are doing? We hired one more person as a driver, and that driver will be paid on the basis of the duration of the hours, how many hours he engaged with us. So per 8 hours, some certain amount is designed by all the drivers. If it is extending more than 8 hours, then we have to pay extra charges. Okay, so this is the meaning of daily basis if we hire any person in the form of a worker or in the form of a driver, so on and so forth. Okay, so here also in the Fibrotex factory, the people, the workers, total workers are working in this factory are nearly 570. Out of 570, 140 workers are said to be permanent workers and 60 workers are appointed on daily basis. That is, these workers will be called as Badli workers. These workers will be called as what? Badli workers. Badli means nothing but, here also I'll go with one example to make you to understand very clearly. Okay, so daily you are having how many subjects? 7 subjects. Out of 7 subjects, 7 periods will be there. If any 2 teachers are on leave, or else take myself only, your social teacher is on leave for 2 days. So someone should engage during my social period in your class. Either one more teacher or else you have to send to playground to play the games. Any one we have to do. Even if you want to play the games also, someone should accompany by you, along with you, not to happen any injuries or not to happen any unknown things in the classroom or in the playground. Okay, so whomever, my period is at which period you have daily? Third period I am coming to your class. Okay, so if in my absence, if I am on leave, in my absence, the teacher who is available in third period, the teacher who is available in third period, that teacher will be replaced in my class, in my place, which in other words we can call it as substitution. What is that word? Substitution. Replace means nothing but substitution. Replace means nothing but substitution. Why we are substituting one place in the absence of any teacher? Because that class should not remain without any person. So someone should be there to guide you, someone should be there to observe you. If any other teacher's portion is in pending, she or he can use that period. So such replacement is called as a substitution. So Badli workers or replacement is nothing but someone is substituted in the absence of a permanent worker or a permanent employee. That is the meaning of Badli workers. Did you understand?
Yeah.
So Badli workers. So here 2 types of workers I said. 100 out of 570, 140 employees are said to be permanent workers. 60 are said to be Badli workers, which are taken on what? On daily basis. On daily basis. So for these Badli workers, when they will be appointed on the basis of daily wages, as I said, the driver, when we are hiring a driver here, depends on if he engaged his time with us for 4 to 8 hours, he will be charged with some amount. In the same way, even these Badli workers, those who are working in the factory, they are paid depends on the duration of the hours. Duration of the hours. So when point comes to Fibrotex company, when we are talking about Fibrotex company, in the year 2002, the charges of daily labor 58 rupees per hour. 58 rupees per hour. Like that, if a person is working for 10 hours, how much amount he is going to pay? 580 rupees on that particular day. Did you get my point?
Yeah.
So here let us know the difference between the permanent workers and the Badli workers. Permanent workers will be designed and or framed or appointed with particular amount that will be fixed salary, which is called as salary, and at the end of the month this salary will be given to those permanent workers. Okay, Badli workers, they will be taken on the daily basis. If any, suppose take for example XYZ are working for 10 hours or 11 hours. Per hour they are going to charge 58 rupees. This tariff plan was there in the year 2002, but at present how much amount they got increased, we don't know. Okay, so just to make you to understand, just for example I am telling you how much amount this badli workers or substituted replacement daily basis workers will be taken, on which basis, that I am making you to understand. Okay, so when point comes to permanent workers will get salary every month. Okay, in addition to that salary, all the allowances also will be given to that. Allowances means nothing but, suppose take for example, if they are living in a rented house, because their salaries are very less, they can't afford maximum rent. Okay, so some of the amount will be given in the form of rent, which they can pay towards the rent, which is called as house rent allowance. What is that? House rent allowance, HRA, nothing but house rent allowance. Along with house rent allowance, even if they are on leave, if they want to take their family to any trip, even that charges, whatever the charges will be paid towards their tickets to and fro, while going, while coming, whatever the charges will happen to the entire family to the tickets, that tickets charges also will be given to the permanent employee, which is called as LTA. LTA means nothing but leave travel allowance. What is that? Leave travel allowance. Suppose take for example, if in a permanent workers family, if anyone is seriously got injured, or if anyone's health is not well, even health insurance also will be given to that family. Health insurance allowance also will be given to the permanent workers family. In addition to all these allowances, one more allowance also will be there, which is called as Provident Fund. What is that? Provident Fund. Provident Fund means nothing but, suppose take for example, if any permanent worker's salary is 10,000, okay, out of 10,000 rupees, every month 1,000 or 1,500, let us take only 1,000 rupees will be deducted from his salary. So only 9,000 salary he is going to receive in a month. Okay, in addition to along with all the allowances. Okay, so this 1,000 rupees deducted from his salary, extra 1,000 rupees will be added from factory owner's side. Are you able to understand what I am saying? Okay. Provident fund means nothing but certain amount will be deducted from our salary. If 1,000 rupees is deducting from your salary, one more 1,000 will be added from the end of the factory or from the company. So 2,000 rupees every month will be added on the name of that permanent worker account. At the end of his retirement, so no one can't work till 100 years, right? There will be a certain age to work in government offices or wherever you go. 58 or 60 years, up to 60 years, a man can work with machines and tools or manually. Beyond that, no one can't do any work because energy levels will come down. It's time to take rest, or else it's time to engage his time with his family members. So that's the reason the government decided particular age of a person to give their services. So after 60 years, when person is getting retired, after 60 years, that person, whatever the amount we are talking about, that is Provident Fund, that Provident Fund amount will be claimed by the permanent worker. They can claim. And also one more benefit is there. If any worker, if any employee is working continuously for 10 years in only one company or one industry or one factory, chances are there to get a pension from Provident Fund office until his last breath of his life. Did you get the point? The person, if any worker is working continuously in only one place, suppose talk about Fibrotex company worker only. Take one name here. Okay, Sindhu is a permanent worker who is working in a Fibrotex company. So she appointed as a permanent worker by fixing a particular amount as a salary, monthly salary, along with all other allowances. If she is well and good, if she is convenient to work in such industry, if she is continuously, if she is working 10 years in the same company, then she will be eligible to provide or to get pension after her retirement. Okay, the one I am talking about, Provident Fund. Whatever the years, after 60 years, whatever the amount was deposited in your bank account from your salary, which was deducted as 1000 rupees, and same one more 1000 rupees will be added from the factory owner. So total amount you should claim after your retirement. And sometimes the people are having chance to can I say, they'll have a facility to take a loan on the basis of Provident Fund. So Provident Fund, in any employee's account, if certain amount will be there, on the basis of that amount, the employee is having an opportunity to take a loan from the bank. So these are all the facilities will be there for permanent workers. And at the same time, any company or any industry or any factory's management, they do not have any right to remove permanent worker without giving his salary or his compensation, whatever you call. They cannot, without any discussion, without giving prior intimation to any permanent worker. No one company's management doesn't have any right to remove permanent worker from his job or from her job. Where these badali workers, these contract workers, the workers who are taken on daily basis, they can be removed at any time because they were appointed exclusively on daily basis. In the absence of permanent workers, if any permanent worker is on leave for 2 or 3 days, so that permanent worker's place will be replaced by these badli workers or contract workers. I think you get my point. Okay, so this is what the differences between the permanent worker and the contract workers or badli workers. So permanent workers are assigned with particular salary including all the allowances, where contract workers or badli workers are not so. They will be appointed only on the basis of daily basis. That too, if any worker is working for these many hours in a day, based on that per hour certain amount will be designed, so only that amount will be paid to the contract workers or badli workers. Okay, so this is all about the permanent workers and badli workers. Now let us come to know, in previous lessons and in previous classes also, many times you came across and we discussed about an association. Suppose take for example, here I want to go with one example. So nowadays most of the people are staying in where? Staying in apartments. Okay, so to maintain the apartment lift you can take, or else watchman salary you can take, maintenance of water, maintenance of electricity, maintenance of CC cameras, everything will comes into consideration. Okay, so if any building, if 20 flats are there, 20 flat members will decide and elect any 3 members to form an association for the maintenance of your apartment. After going home, if you do not have idea about this association, just ask with your parents. Yeah, association is there in our apartment, president will be there, secretary will be there, and treasurer will be there. So what is the responsibility of these 3 persons? If any CC camera got under repair, if lift is not working properly, when current was not there, generator should be there, should be replaced in the apartment. So to install or to buy a generator, how much income will be there, how much amount we have to spend, and for lift purpose what is the amount. Every 6 months we have to take a service from lift, whether it is working or not, that's the secondary thing, but giving service for every 6 months is compulsory. Giving service for every 6 months is compulsory. Watchman, we have to pay salary. Okay, so water, government, we are getting directly from the government water. For that also water we have to pay certain charges every month. And at the same time, from GHMC, 2 or 3 vehicles will come to take the garbage. Garbage means the dust from our houses. So they'll collect garbage. For that person also we have to pay the charges. So if in an apartment, if we want to go through all such kind of charges, you have to decide a certain amount for each and every flat, like 1500 or 2000, and that will be on the name of that particular apartment association. They will open one bank account, and these 20 apartments are giving 2000 maintenance charges every month, and all that amount will be deposited in the bank account which was opened on the name of the apartments association. And no one person is having a right to keep that amount in his own account or in his house. If any expenditure is going on, they have to bring to rest of all the residents notice that these many charges were happened on the lift services, these many charges were amount was spent towards generator, and this amount spent towards the salary of the watchman. So each and everything should be mentioned very clearly in a particular register. If any problem is facing by all the residents of that apartment, they have to discuss together so that they have to form an association. In the same way, in the factories or in companies, people should form an association which is called as trade union. What it is? Trade union. And what is the responsibility of the trade union? Let me discuss in my next session. Until then, have a nice day.